Now, at the beginning of the program, I set out to give you permission to be compassionate to the children, to these single moms that are coming over, obviously desperate because they're willing to risk their lives and willing to risk the lives of their children, to be compassionate to them, but to be frustrated and even angered with the Obama administration. All right, so now what do you do? What do you do with your compassion and your frustration and your outrage? Well, take your pick. You could contact local authorities and say, I am completely opposed to what President Obama is doing, but if there is a child who needs a safe haven, we will offer that safe haven. Now, some people say, well, hold on, if you do that, you're just letting Obama win. No. There are some things that are bigger than Obama. This has to do with our fear and love of God, and that these human beings, most of them baptized Christians, are made in the image of God. Okay? So, believe me, I'm not caving into Obama, and here's how you know. Go ahead and take your outrage and your frustration and use the tools that we have been giving you on this program to become a public advocate against Obama and against the Democratic minions in the House of Representatives and in the Senate who are trying to overthrow the republic by allowing our border to be overrun. All right? How would you do that? Go to our website and look for the episode. There'll be a link up at the top that tells you how to do a demonstration or a press conference or hold an event that the media will cover and will get your voice out. But I'm going to go a step further. Remember, I talked about broadcasting is big, and that's why we do some of these events, and microcasting is small. And this one's going to be tough for you. You ready? To go ahead and wag your finger with a smile if you want. I warned you. Or with sharp, frustrated eyes, I warned you. To your friends, to your relatives, to your neighbors, to the people that you go to church with. And say, if you voted for Obama, you bear responsibility for what is happening to our country right now. Just picture yourself saying it in conversation, in blogs, in letters to the editor, in local call-in radio shows if you've got them in your community. Start to work on the lines that those of you who gave Obama the ride to the White House in 2008 and then again in 2012, you gave him the reins of our federal government, at least at the presidential level. And what he is doing right now to help undermine and fundamentally alter this republic is your fault because you helped this man get into office. All right? So now that's looking back. And then the third thing that you can do is to look forward. Get off your couch and get registered to vote and get active in politics in your area. Find a good Tea Party group. Find a good pro-life group. Find a good pro-marriage group that's actually politically active and politically savvy, okay? Not people sitting around having a meeting just witching at one another, but people who are out there collecting signatures, going door to door to help get people elected, that are at the fairs handing out political literature. The country is dying because our civil leaders are driving this ship of state to the jaws of hell, literally. And the only way that we're going to come out is if we switch the leaders of the ship of state. We've got to get new people in office. And it's going to take a higher level, in my opinion, than ever before of intensity, of a shrill voice. Remember we talked about that if the house is on fire, you don't come in and say, hey, by the way, I love what you've done with the flowers. And that place setting is gorgeous. By the way, there's a really severe fire going on in the basement right now that's probably going to consume the whole house. But anyway, and this wallpaper is gorgeous. No, you come up saying, the house is on fire! Okay? The bread in circuses, cyber hell, cyberspace has so numbed most people that you have to have a rhetorical sledgehammer, wham, to wake them out of their stupor and their political and cultural and spiritual coma, okay? And it means that you're going to run the risk of alienating people. And as I said to you before, it means you're going to run the risk of having people hate you, despise you, cast your name out as evil, all the things that Jesus spoke about. So it's time now to really say, God, what do you want me to do? To look in the mirror and say, God, what do you want me to do? You have permission to show compassion. You have permission from the laws of God and from the laws of reason to feel frustration and to feel anger. But now you need to employ them to help right the ship of state before we perish as a free people. It's up to you.